YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and I am bringing you guys the Season 6 best settings that you can use to have the most FPS and the best looking game. Let's get into it. Now, of course, we'll just start with the controller settings. I know this is not the graphics settings, but a lot of you guys do ask me this on stream, what I'm using on my controller settings and what are the dead zones. So I'm going to run through these just because, you know, in Call of Duty nowadays, instead of just changing your sensitivity, you have about 76 different things that you can do to your controller alone before even getting into the graphics. So starting off here, aiming input device is controller. My button layout is tactical. I do play tactical. I do not play flipped. I use the triggers to shoot. Nothing too crazy right there. And of course, make sure that you have the Warzone preset the same as your multiplayer preset. I actually do get that confused sometimes. And then going over here, I don't play with the bumper ping, but this is actually something I've been considering. So we'll see how that kind of goes. Not too sure. Nothing too crazy here. I do have controller vibration on, but I do not have the controller vibration rumbles in my controller. So I do not play with vibration. So realistically, I can turn that off. And then continuing on down here, I play on 10 sensitivity with the horizontal and then 6 vertical. And of course, the ADS multiplier is 0.9. So if you do 10 times 0.9 on the horizontal, that equals 9. That is easy math, and that is what I like to play on. The 6 does not really matter. I just like the horizontal because we're playing a boots on the ground game, so I think I can swipe left and right a little bit easier, while the vertical kind of just keeps it in line. So I've always done something like this. This is just what I've been playing on, and I do like it a lot. I do recommend a little bit slower if you're not the most advanced player, but you can get away with anything that suits you. And then other than that, I do not do any of the sensitivity multipliers there. And then moving on to the gameplay side of things, I don't do anything too crazy here too. Automatic sprint is off. I do not use that. And then you can keep scrolling down here. Prioritized interact is very nice as well. And then if you go to the advanced section, target aim assist is on. I play on Black Ops. I always have. I don't think it's ever gotten nerfed. I think it's incredible and even more sticky. Then continuing down, we have the aim response curve type dynamic. And then all this stuff is pretty simple from here. The dead zones are a big one. Of course, I'll show you guys these. My left stick minimum is 0.5. My right stick is 0.03. And then the left stick max is 0.65, 0.99, left trigger is 0.13, and then the right trigger is 000. And the reason why is I do that when I'm using a single tap gun or a pistol or something that is semi-automatic. I think it helps me shoot faster. So I do like that setting as well. It's something that you can definitely change. I don't use any of this stuff right here. I don't even really do any of this. I don't know anything about it. And then going down to the movement behaviors, we have all of this right here. This is the big one. So I don't play on auto tactical sprint, but I do play on single tap the run. So instead of doing the double tap the tactical sprint, all it takes is one tap. I do think this is a little bit better than ATS just because this game's a little bit slower paced, and sometimes you can get caught off guard with ATS if you're using a shotgun or something like that. So I use a single tap to run, and then everything else is on your screen right here. I'm just going to scroll through this. Pretty normal stuff. Nothing too crazy. Hopefully this helps you, and then we're going to move on to the graphics. All right, now we're into the fun part, the graphics, the FPS, the main part of this video. Right here is just the display. This is obviously going to all just be kind of catered to what you're using on your setup, but I'm just going to scroll through this right now. Nothing too crazy here. Now, this is where it actually matters just a little bit. It's going to help you get a lot of FPS. So we're going to go through these. I do use the upscale and sharpening, but I use the fidelity CAS, and that is going to be at 90, not 100. This is just something I've always done. And then anti-aliasing, I do use Filmic, which is pretty nice. You can do other stuff too, which is taking the Filmic off. I actually like the Filmic a lot. I think this helps, so I'm going to keep that on. And depending on your PC, you might want to use the other one. It just really depends on what kind of build you have. But keep going down here. I keep this on low. Video memory scale on 90. Then going down to details and textures, texture resolution low, normal, low, high, short, low, very low. Bullet impacts on. This is just something I do for YouTube videos. You probably want to keep this off if you're going for the most FPS. Not that big of a setting that really matters. Then of course off. Shader quality medium. This is another thing that you could probably put this to low if you don't have the best build or you're trying to max out your FPS. I just like the way the game looks with the medium shaders, so I do medium. Probably you can even do high, just depending on what you have in your computer. And then the tessellation is near. This is something that you can also turn off if you'd like to. I think the game looks a little bit better with near. If you're going for the most FPS, definitely turn this one off. On-demand texture streaming off. Streaming quality normal. And then just keep going down here with all this stuff. You're getting the gist of things. A lot of this is just turning everything to very low or off just so you get the most FPS. Nothing has changed too much, but I figured I would do a settings update video for you guys when Season 6 came out. So here it is. On plus boost as well. For the NVIDIA low latency, a lot of people have it on. I think it personally feels best with on plus boost. And then going over to the field of view, I play on 117. I don't play on 120. 117 and 120 are basically the same thing. It doesn't really matter what you're using as much as you just, you know, what you're comfortable with. Anything from 110 to 120 is a pretty fair one, I think, if you're using a PC. I've played on basically all of them. I don't like playing on 120 fully. I think 117 is just a little bit better. That's probably all in my head. It doesn't really matter. So whatever really works for you on that one. A big thing here is ADS field of view needs to be affected. If you play on independent, you are crazy. And then weapon field of view, I play on wide. Other than that, all this stuff, make sure you copy it, and these are all your settings that you need. I'll show you guys some audio settings and little things, and then we'll be done. Audio settings here, I play on home theater, master volume 100. Nothing too crazy here. Show more for this. Gameplay music volume 0, 50, 100, 40, 0, and 100, depending on kind of what you have for your audio setups. You'll have all this stuff. That's loudness EQ and all that. If you want more information on loudness EQ and settings to do, I would definitely recommend checking out Art is War. He's the best audio optimizer in Warzone. And then moving all the way down here, this is exactly what we have for the audio stuff. Again, nothing too crazy. This is all kind of dependent on what you have. But if you're just curious to see what I have on there, there it is. Then on the interface side of things, nothing really matters in my opinion other than the color customization. I do like the colors and the way they look. If you use the filter 2, you color filter target on both, and then you do the intensities to 100, and then after that you can just do whatever you want customization wise on the color palette. So there it is. That is what I recommend using when it comes to all of these settings. Hopefully this video helped you out, and as always, it's been your boy Crowder, and I'll see you guys next one. Peace.